Leg weakness after the age of 60 is widely accepted as a normal and unavoidable part of growing older. Many seniors believe that declining strength, unstable walking, and difficulty standing up are simply what happens with age. From a medical and physiological standpoint, this belief is inaccurate. While aging does bring certain biological changes, progressive leg weakness is not caused by age alone. In the majority of cases, it is the result of reduced muscle use, altered movement habits, and gradual inactivity, not an irreversible breakdown of the body. Human skeletal muscle is a highly adaptive tissue. It responds directly to demand. When muscles are used regularly, they maintain their size, strength, and coordination. When they are underused, they shrink and weaken, a process known as muscle atrophy. After the age of 60, daily movement naturally decreases for many individuals. Retirement, joint discomfort, fear of falling, and lifestyle changes all contribute to less walking, fewer stairs, and longer periods of sitting. Over time, this reduction in mechanical load sends a powerful signal to the body that strong muscles are no longer required. This process is closely linked to sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and function. Sarcopenia often begins silently in the 5th or 6th decade of life and accelerates if movement is not intentionally maintained. Importantly, sarcopenia is not purely age-driven. Research consistently demonstrates that muscle tissue in older adults remains responsive to resistance and weight-bearing activity. Even individuals in their 70s, 80s, and beyond can rebuild strength when muscles are properly stimulated. What makes leg weakness particularly dangerous is that it develops gradually and without pain. Unlike arthritis or acute injury, muscle loss does not usually produce immediate discomfort. Instead, it presents as subtle functional changes. Seniors may notice that standing up from a chair takes more effort, that they pause before climbing stairs, or that they rely on furniture or walls for balance. Walking speed may decrease, and fatigue may appear sooner during routine activities. These early warning signs are often dismissed or attributed to normal aging, allowing the condition to worsen. From a clinical perspective, the muscles most affected are the quadriceps, gluteal muscles, calves, and hip stabilizers. These muscle groups are essential for standing, walking, balance, and fall prevention. When they weaken, the body compensates by altering posture and movement patterns. Knees may lock, steps become shorter, and balance reactions slow down. Over time, this compensation increases the risk of falls, joint stress, and loss of independence. Another critical factor is the loss of fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are responsible for quick corrective movements, such as catching oneself during a stumble. These fibers decline more rapidly with inactivity than with aging itself. This explains why seniors who remain active often retain better balance and reaction time than younger individuals who are sedentary. The difference lies not in age, but in consistent muscle engagement. One of the most important messages professionals must communicate is that muscle strength is use-dependent at every age. The body does not stop responding to exercise after 60. What changes is the margin for error. Recovery time may be longer, joints may require more care, and movement must be controlled rather than explosive. However, the fundamental biological principle remains the same. Muscles that are challenged appropriately will adapt and strengthen. Contrary to popular belief, rebuilding leg strength does not require heavy weights or intense gym routines. In fact, for most seniors, high-intensity exercise can increase injury risk and discourage consistency. The most effective approach is low-impact, functional strength training that mimics daily activities. Movements such as sitting down and standing up, Stepping up onto low surfaces, controlled heel raises, and slow walking drills place sufficient load on the muscles to stimulate adaptation without excessive strain. Equally important is frequency. Muscles respond best to regular stimulation. Short daily sessions, sometimes as little as 5 to 10 minutes, are far more effective than occasional long workouts. Consistency prevents the body from entering a disuse state and maintains neuromuscular communication between the brain and the legs. Professionally, early intervention is key. When leg weakness is addressed at the first signs of decline, progress is faster and safer. Waiting until strength loss becomes severe makes recovery more challenging and increases the likelihood of falls or mobility aids becoming necessary. This is why proactive movement is not optional for seniors. It is preventive medicine. It is also important to address the psychological aspect. Many older adults limit movement because they fear falling. Unfortunately, avoiding movement actually increases fall risk by weakening the very systems responsible for stability. Structured, supported exercises restore confidence by proving to the nervous system that the legs are capable and reliable. This confidence encourages more natural movement throughout the day, further reinforcing strength. From a medical standpoint, leg strength is directly linked to longevity and independence. Numerous studies have shown that lower body strength correlates strongly with reduced mortality risk, better cardiovascular health, and improved quality of life. Simply put, strong legs support nearly every aspect of healthy aging. In conclusion, leg weakness after 60 is not an unavoidable consequence of getting older. It is a modifiable, reversible condition driven primarily by reduced use, not age itself. Muscles remain adaptable well into later life, provided they receive consistent, appropriate stimulation. The solution is not extreme exercise, but purposeful daily movement that challenges the legs safely and regularly. When seniors understand this, they regain control over their mobility, confidence, and independence. Aging may change the rules, but it does not remove the ability to improve. In older adults, leg weakness is often discussed only in terms of muscle loss. However, from a professional and clinical perspective, muscle strength alone does not fully explain the decline in mobility seen after the age of 60. A more accurate understanding recognizes that leg strength, balance, and confidence are deeply interconnected through the nervous system. When one element weakens, the others follow, creating a downward cycle that accelerates physical decline. Balance is not a single skill. It's the result of continuous communication between the muscles, joints, inner ear, eyes, and brain. Every step a person takes requires real-time feedback. The brain constantly receives information from the legs about pressure, position, and movement. When leg muscles weaken due to inactivity, this sensory feedback becomes less accurate. As a result, balance feels unstable even when standing still or walking on familiar ground. This loss of balance is one of the earliest and most damaging consequences of leg weakness. Seniors often describe feeling unsteady rather than weak. They may fear uneven surfaces, stairs, or sudden turns. Clinically, this is known as reduced proprioception, which refers to the body's ability to sense its position in space. Proprioception declines rapidly when muscles and joints are not regularly challenged. As balance becomes less reliable, confidence decreases. Confidence is not merely psychological, it's neurological. When the brain repeatedly experiences instability or near falls, it begins to restrict movement as a protective response. Walking speed slows, steps become shorter, and the body adopts a guarded posture. While this may feel safer in the short term, it significantly increases long-term risk by reducing muscle activation and reaction speed. This process creates a powerful negative feedback loop. Reduced strength leads to poor balance. Poor balance reduces confidence. Reduced confidence leads to movement avoidance. Movement avoidance accelerates muscle loss and further weakens balance. Over time, this cycle can result in falls, dependence on walking aids, and loss of independence. From a medical standpoint, one of the most important insights is that the nervous system remains trainable throughout life. Even in advanced age, the brain can relearn balance patterns when given the right stimuli. This is why balance-focused movement is as critical as strength training for seniors. Exercises that involve controlled instability, such as standing on one leg with support, slow marching in place, weight shifting from side to side, and deliberate heel-to-toe walking, place sufficient load on the muscles to stimulate adaptation without excessive strain.